Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to Model Context Protocol or MCP, where we will see how we can call a tool from a server to client. Okay, if you remember, in our last session, we just learned the process of establishing a connection between a client and server. And now we are going to continue this series where we will be mainly focusing on calling the tool. So we will be learning about the process how to call tool in MCP. But before we proceed further with the session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on the calling process, but prior to that you should know how to establish a connection between client and server so that you can easily relate the things. And for that you can also refer the Tech Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find thousands of sessions available in both Hindi as well as English language. So without any language barrier, you can easily consume the content, and in case if you have any queries or questions related to that, feel free to reach out to me through a comment section. I would be more than happy to answer all your questions. Okay, so this kind of book you will find in the description box. From there you can learn the things. Alright, so let's get started and see how we can call a tool in MCP, and I'm using Python here. So firstly we will talk about the server part, okay, because server is the place where we are defining the tool, and then from client file we will be calling it. So currently I'm in MCP3 server.py file, and here I'm firstly importing the FastMCP, which is nothing but a tool that will help us to build the MCP server easily. After that we are simply creating the server with the name my first server. So I just noted down like this: MCP equal FastMCP my first server. Okay, so whenever you want to use this server, you have to just use this term my first server. Then on line number 23 we have mentioned the special decorator, which will tell the program that below to this decorator what function we have defined is not a simple normal function, it's a tool. Okay, so this is the tool which we are going to call from the client file. So we just note it down like this @mcp.tool, and then we define hello function, which will return one string, and in this string I'm just returning the message hello, this message is coming from the MCP server. That's it. Okay, so what basically will happen when someone calls this tool from the client, it will simply return this string hello, this message is coming from the MCP server. Okay, and then on line number 29 and 30 we just mention this code because we want to run the server, but only when the file is in the file is run directly. Okay, not when it is imported. Okay, so till now I think server part is clear, like what is server and how to create the server and what tool basically we are going to use. So from client we are going to call this tool. So let's see what we have prepared in client file. So here you can see I have firstly I have imported one async IO, which will tell the Python, or which will allow the Python to work asynchronously. That means let's say at the time of calling the server, if something waits, so in that case that time it should not go in freeze state. Instead of that it should work asynchronously. Okay, so we have added this thing. Then we have imported some building blocks that we need for the client, like client session, studio server parameter, MCP client studio, import studio client. Okay, so this thing we have added here. Now next what we are going to define the function. So you can see async def main function, where we will just tell the client how to call or how to start the server. Okay, so for that what we will do, firstly we will define the server parameters. So you can see server params, studio server parameters, command is Python, and argument is the name of the program. So I clearly mention here MCP-03 server.py. So what it will do, basically it will tell the server that you have to execute it in Python command, and the argument which we want to execute is MCP server.py. Okay, after that we are simply starting the connection, or you can say we are starting the server and opening the communication channel. So for that I just noted down async with studio client server params as read write. Okay, then async with client session read write as session. So here we just simply mention this thing to define the session, and then we are actually into this handshake step to connect the server. So for that we will just write await session.initialize. So if this connection is successfully established, then we will show this message print connection successfully. Okay, otherwise it won't show this message. So if you remember, in last session we prepared only this part, right? But today we are going to continue to the next part, that is where we are calling actually the tool. Okay, so how to call this tool? So to call the tool, you just need to write await session.call tool hello arguments. Now what is this arguments? Because this time we are not receiving any parameters in this hello method, that's why I'm using just argument as blank. Okay, blank dictionary. Otherwise, like maybe in the next session I'll show you how to pass the parameters to it, but for now we are just calling it simply a simple tool, that is hello, and then whatever it will return will be stored into this result. Okay, and then we are going to show these two message print tool called successfully result from server and result.content of 0.text. So whatever is present in content of 0, the text form will be printed there. Okay, and this part is just just to let async.io run on main. So I think you got the overall scenario, like how we have designed this thing, right? So basically we created the server, and also of course like we need to import some important thing, and then we designed the client part where we have explained and added everything to handshake the process and to establish the connection, and then we simply call the tool that is hello with null blank parameters, because right now I don't want to pass any parameter, and whatever value it will return will be stored in result, and then we are printing that value. Okay, so let's see how we will import it. So for that, what you just need to do, you just need to write here Python on your terminal, and then the client name, which is client.py, but I think it's MCP 03 -client.py, and then you can simply press enter. So when you press enter, it will take few seconds, and then you can see firstly it shows the message connection successful, then it shows tool called successful, that means tool is also successfully called, and then it shows result from the server is hello, this message is coming from the MCP server. So you can see we didn't execute the program server.py, instead of that we simply call the client.py, and internally it calls the tool that is present in server.py with the name tool, and from that tool we got the message which we defined here, and the message is hello, this message is coming from the MCP server. Okay, so this is how things work in MCP Model Context Protocol. I hope this entire session is clear to all of you, and now you have idea. So if someone asks you how to call a tool with the MCP protocol, so you can simply explain it, and you can also show this example. Okay, so keep practicing, because practice is very important. I know like some of you might be thinking like what all things we are defining here, but don't worry, by the time step by step you will remember all these things. These are just a mandatory steps, and then you can use it for your applications. Clear? Now before we proceed with the next session, I want to give you one question which will help you to prepare well for your interviews and examination. Okay, and today's question is, what is the name of the MCP method used to run a tool from the client side? Okay, you just need to write a short answer in the comment section, because it will help us in 3 ways. First, it will help you to recall your concepts, because we are learning so many things in this series, so it's better to recall the things timely manner. Second, let's say if someone don't know the answer of this question, they can simply look into the comment section to get the answer. Okay, it will really help them. Third, when you are writing the comment in the comment section, it provides me the notification that you guys are learning these series from this series, and accordingly I will release more new session to this playlist. Okay, so if you are commenting it frequently, then accordingly I will release the more sessions. So yeah, please do share your knowledge and expertise in the comment section. It really helps other. So that's all for today, and see you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.